From the first stories told in firelit caves to the electronically recorded messages of deep space, we leave the 20th century with no regrets. Time bends, space is boundless, and when humanity gasps its last, all that will remain, if anything, will be the theater of tomorrow. Tonight's production is Kennedy Roundhouse Moon Detective.
Time was I could actually get nostalgic about being roughed up in the interrogation room at the Midtown police station. These days, they don't even bother to cuff me. I'm looking in the two-way mirror and wondering if my reflection is as hollow.
Roundhouse, if you don't stop staring into the middle distance, I am going to punch the ugly right off your face.
Oh, right. I'm wanted for murder. Or trespassing? It's not buying illegal alcoholic sludge. They wouldn't haul me all the way.
What did I just say, Roundhouse?
Can we just get to the part where you do the thing?
I just like having an excuse to bend your nose.
And trespassing at the water plant is a good enough excuse?
Trespassing is a good enough excuse, yeah. Murder is a damn valid reason. But between you and me...
Yeah, you just like seeing me bloody and on the floor. Yeah, I get it, Felder. Look, have you actually got any evidence against me? Or are you just as bad at your job as I pretend you are?
You were the last one to see her alive. We have eyes on her that puts her in a very agitated, almost fearful state. That's at least enough cause to get you down here for questioning.
I was the last one to see her alive?
That's right, Roundhouse.
Wouldn't the murderer be the last one who saw her alive?
Don't get cute with me.
Can't help it. No one saw her yesterday night or all day today?
Not until her husband found her with half her head blown off in her bedroom.
Well, if I was trespassing at the water plant on the edge of town all afternoon, how exactly did you figure I got uptown to her gated mansion, snuck in, shot her, then went all the way back to my place to get picked up by you?
You want to tell me how you know the time of death?
Nikki told me, when I was standing next to you about half an hour ago.
The only one who has any connection or any motive to kill Miss DeWitt is you, Roundhouse. I don't know exactly how or exactly why yet, but that's what you and I are going to spend the next few hours figuring out.
I'm in trouble here. Felder's a jack of all asses and not a very good cop. But if the old dog thinks he's got a bone, he'll hold on till he sees a piece of meat.
What makes you think it wasn't suicide?
Because you shot her in the back of the head.
Whoever Mandy was scared of when she told me to drop the case snuck up behind her and made sure she couldn't tell anyone else what she knew. I'm probably next. Getting arrested is the only thing keeping me safe right now.
Okay, Felder. Legally, you got me for 24 hours. So why don't you get us some coffee and we'll piss each other off for a day?
Piss each other off? That'll be a nice change of scenery. You just sit there and decide how easy you want this to be. Beautiful living hell. I'm not letting her out of this room unless God himself comes in.
That's queer. Thought I was the only one who could pull on Felder's feathers like that. Maybe I'm losing my touch.
I don't know what the hell is going on.
Aren't you used to that yet?
Whatever rocket you're riding just fired its last stage. You better put all your energy into maintaining a very low orbit, or I will see to it you crash so far out in the dust no one will ever see you again.
All right, Roundhouse, you better get out of here before Felder remembers he has a gun and forgets he's a cop.
Leave.
Suppose I should be as used to things not adding up as I am to old Earth hanging over the horizon. Suppose I should just throw out my moral compass and get used to stumbling around in the dark. Suppose I should get used to being in over my head and...
Ms. Roundhouse, despite your reputation and a near-constant vacant look in your eyes, you seem unendingly deep in thought.
Councilman DeWitt. Even through that speaker box in his throat, you can hear his condescending tone.
I take it you're the one who launched me out of holding?
And people say you're not a good detective.
Guess it was God himself.
I had you released because I know full well, just as you know full well, that you did not dispatch my dear Mandy. I know when she died, you were in my water plant, chasing your tail.
That's right. Then I went back home to chase a beer. I'm a lousy drunk and I didn't find anything at the water processing plant. But I don't believe for a second you came all the way down here to do me a favor. So do me one now and let me in on the gag.
You've been igniting trouble all over town, all because my Mandy came to you to flirt with danger. Now she's dead. I want all of this to settle so I can bury my wife and grieve.
Flirt with danger. Slip of the tongue or insecure metaphor? This guy plays too close to the vest.
Leave it be, Roundhouse. I don't like attention, I don't like you, and I don't like what I saw in my wife's bedroom today. I won't insult you with a payoff, and I'm certainly not going to threaten you. But it almost goes without saying that if someone is willing to incur my wrath by slaying Mandy over her activities, then dispatching you would hardly be an effort.
Yeah. I guess that almost went without saying.
Take care, Ms. Roundhouse. Stick to dissolving alimony payments with pictures of cheating husbands. That's the kind of work one can do in one's cups.
Right.
We'll be keeping our eyes on you, Kennedy Roundhouse.
Didn't seem too broken up over the dead wife he kept waving in my face. Damn it, Mandy. What did you get yourself involved in? I can feel my bones sharp and hard inside me. I feel trapped inside my skull and it's too hot. It's time I retrace my steps and leave a boot print on someone's ass.
All right, Vince?
Kennedy Roundhouse. Heard you were cooling afterburners in a midtown cell. You end up being too small fry to hold? Or did some big fish swim by and gulp you down?
How do you hear about Felder buying me iron bracelets, and how do you know DeWitt pulled me out? And don't jettison garbage at me.
Sounds like someone finally opened her eyes. You ready to listen to me in earnest, Roundhouse?
I've never been ready in my entire life, but I'm bull rushing forward now all the same.
Sing me a song, Kennedy.
Too many people are flagging me off, and no one has tried to kill me yet. That's my verse and chorus. Sing me yours.
Already gave you our chorus, but here it is again. You know we're right about the water. That's why you keep drilling. But you keep missing the target. Everyone in this dump of a city is connected by the water production.
That's the way it's always been.
Even on old Earth?
Who can say?
Mandy DeWitt got closer than she knew to figuring it out. If you don't want to get buried with her, you best stay away. You ready to come inside?
I'm already in it.
Attendee went in to do some fact-checking. Councilman DeWitt left his mansion and drove out to the water reserves. He came back to bail you out of jail for reasons even we don't know, and then directly back to the outside of town. Attendee's been following that big black windowed car he only takes out 3 times a year. Whatever's going on with you, Councilman DeWitt, and Mandy DeWitt's death is all centered around the water out there.
Then why aren't I dead?
Dead yet, you mean? Because it's too high profile. You tried to take him down. Everyone knows Mandy came to you after all the questions you asked. Now she's dead. Maybe that's just bad luck. Maybe it's just skeletons in the closet. But you turn up dead in the same week? Now that's something a dedicated cop might look into.
Felder.
Felder doesn't factor. He's a rube, doing what he thinks is best. Attendee is out at the water reserve now, seeing what there is to see.
Hate to say it, Vince, but this isn't exactly news to me. I was hoping for something more solid to go on.
Aren't we all? The water conspiracy you investigated is what connects all of this. What connects all of us. Find the source, kid. The answers are at the source.
You ever hear of Dr. Bao Feng?
I don't know her.
What about her daughter, Lin Yao Feng?
Not sure.
If you'd seen her, you'd be sure. Not the kind of woman you forget. Dr. Bao Feng also had a theory about a source of connections. But her focus was the crater dream.
Thought that was just a bunch of stuff and nonsense.
Maybe, maybe not. And right in the middle of this water nonsense, this Lin Yao sidles up to me at the bar and tells me her mother was trying to figure out what this dream nonsense was. Go check her out. Have Attendee get away from DeWitt and both of you meet me at Nick's.
What's the countdown?
Countdown's ASAP. The body counts at 1 and we both know I'm 2.
Kennedy! I hope they launched you, because if you escaped and came right here, I think they're gonna find you.
Yeah, give me a bottle of something cheap and a glass. Put it on my tab. I'm taking my booth and doing some hard thinking. Vince, Attendee, or Lynn stop in, point them to the dark corner. Anyone else? You haven't seen me since Felder pinched me.
Ken, you know I don't lie.
You do today, Nick.
I don't know how long I've been waiting, but I finished the bottle. The bottle's not finished with me, though. I don't remember nodding off, but there I was, dreaming the moon dream again. I'm in the crater. Too dry and too soft. Old Earth watching me. No, I'm watching Earth. Someone else is watching me. I'm in the crater and can't get out, and it's not dry anymore. Before I can commiserate, I feel it again. Every PI, every good one, knows when they're being watched. Paranoia is just good business. This isn't business. This isn't just someone watching me. Something can see me. Something that always has, always will. Something that sees us all. My gravel turns to sand, turns to dust, and suddenly I realize I've never been scared before. This is scared. This is what fear feels like. Inescapable and deep and black as the sky. Something is trying to talk to me now. I can almost hear it.
Kennedy Roundhouse!
All eyes on me. Even Nick looks worried. Vince and Attende are wild-eyed at the door I was supposed to be watching. If anyone could...
Kennedy Roundhouse!
God damn it.
Kennedy Roundhouse!
Back here.
Kennedy Roundhouse!
Keep it down. You're scaring the straights.
Roundhouse.
Why?
Kennedy Roundhouse!
What are you into, Kennedy? I found him like this out at the water plant, wandering around like he had nowhere to be for the rest of his life.
Oh, no.
He hasn't said anything other than your name. I'm not even sure he knows anything beyond that.
I suppose every person on the train from uptown to this bar has heard him shouting my name then?
And further, I took him to see Dr. Fang and her daughter.
You spoke with her? You were just supposed to case the joint.
I like you, Ken, and I want to get at the truth. But I have to know what's wrong with Attende. What's wrong with him, Ken? It's the same thing that's got Dr. Fang.
I don't know what it is, but I got an idea. Let's wait for Lynn.
You meeting Lin Fang here?
She probably beat you here. Waiting outside trying to figure out if she can still walk away from all this. She can't. It's a family case.
No one walks away clean in a family case.
She's in back.
Lynn! Over here. Vince, slide Attende over. Make some room.
Roundhouse.
This won't
Kennedy
take long.
Roundhouse. Kennedy
Miss Roundhouse, I do not appreciate...
Hold on, keep your voice down. Have a seat.
I am acquainted with your friends. What I have to say to you alone.
You're not here to say anything, you're here to listen. Sit down. Whatever the hell is going on, whatever Mandy got me into and died for, it ends tonight.
That's all you have to say?
That's all it is, doll.
What about Attende?
And my mother?
Whatever's wrong with them is permanent. They got too close to figuring out what Mandy knew, and judging on how she fared, they got off lucky.
Sorry, kid.
Lucky?
It's catatonic or dead,
You seem to have escaped both.
for now. I don't know whatever secret burned away your mom's mind or Attende's. You don't have to see it this way, but they got mercy.
So that's that?
No. I'm walking out of here and going to the reserves.
What makes you sure you won't get a bullet or end up cowing your own name for the rest of your life?
Kennedy Roundhouse.
You and Attende can have my flat for as long as you can afford it, or until the landlord chases you out. There's only one bed, but there's 145 bluebacks in the desk. Take care of yourself. And stay away from all this.
And what about me?
Go home and keep Dr. Fang comfortable. Forget me and the moon dream and the water. If you don't read answers in tomorrow's paper, then forget there was ever a question.
What do you expect will happen, Kennedy Roundhouse? If you find any answers, I will never hear them. Do you hope for death or the mercy of madness?
I hope for the truth. Take care, Lin Yao Fang. Remember me while you finish that bottle I bought you, and not an ounce later.
Ken,
Nick?
I'll see you tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah, Nick. The usual. As usual.
I hope to hell I never see them again. Mandy, Dr. Fang, poor Attende. This invisible war has had more than enough casualties. I've got one more goodbye before I see this through to the end. He won't be happy to see me, but he needs to.
I thought you'd be here hours ago. You need me to talk you back from a ledge, go drink it off. I'll shout some common sense at you tomorrow.
Not sure about tomorrow, Wally. Hell, not sure about tonight.
All right, come in and have some coffee. If we're gonna do this, let's at least do it.
Can't stay long. And coffee makes me tense.
You're always tense.
So you can imagine how I feel about coffee.
I'm tired, Roundhouse. I don't want to dance, and I don't feel like wagging my finger at you.
It's tonight, Wally.
Ken,
I've got a dead woman's money on an open case. A long open case.
I heard about Mandy DeWitt.
And I got 2 others whose minds have been burned out. Something's calling me, Wally. Calling me out to the water reserves.
Are you asking me for a favor?
If you don't hear from me by morning edition, you won't hear from me. If you do, you'll have the biggest story in the moon's short, dirty history.
This sounds too familiar to wake me up for.
Leave your radio on.
Always do. And even if you had a story in your coat pocket right now, you know full well it wouldn't make the morning edition. You want to tell me why you're darkening my doorstep, Roundhouse?
Because you knew me when.
Want to come in, Kennedy? We can talk. Figure it out.
If you don't hear from me, do what I couldn't and leave it alone.
Ken, where are you going tonight?
Take care of yourself.
Yeah, sure. Watch your caboose, Ken.
I intend to. I wanted to walk, but I didn't have the time. None of us did. I sit down in the slick transit seat, and before I have time to think, I'm on the outskirts. The back of my mind pretends to wonder if I should have grabbed my gun before I set out. But I know there's nothing to shoot out here but the breeze. Whatever the answer is to all these questions, it's in those tanks. There isn't even so much as a fence to keep me out. We're all one big, happy lunar family, after all. My mouth is suddenly dry. My eyes want to wander outward, take in the beauty of the landscape. The hard turn from slate gray to wet black at the horizon. Old Earth, as blue as anything above. But I had my sentimental moment back at Nick's. The time is now. The reserve tanks are huge and buried. I reach out and spin the old metal wheel lock on top. I'm in it. All or nothing. And nothing's all I have. No. It can't be just this. I guess I didn't have the pieces of the puzzle after all. The tank is full to the top with good old-fashioned water. I assume all the others are as well. I don't know what I expected, but emergency water rations wasn't it. I'm gonna stand up and turn around now, nice and slow. Maybe then you can tell me what the hell is actually going on, Mr. DeWitt.
Sorry, Big Eyes. Wrong DeWitt.
Mandy.
The Theater of Tomorrow was created by Andy Hamer and Travis McMaster. Kennedy Roundhouse, Moon Detective, was created by Mario Colley. Words by Travis McMaster. This production was fortunate in securing the services of Kelly Ninoltowski, Krista Lewis, Mark Whitten, Chuty 2, Paul Getz, Josh Monk, Heather Monk, and E.K. Dagenfield. Broadcast in beautiful Los Angeles, California at the L.A. Studio Bricks showroom. The L.A. Studio Bricks showroom can be accessed on the connectitubes at www.cglewis.com. That's www.cglewis.com. Join us next time for another thrilling episode of Kennedy Roundhouse, Moon Detective!
Tonight's production was a work of fiction produced entirely for the Theater of Tomorrow.